Now we discuss user defined exceptions. Yeah, what is the program? I want to write on small application like student has to select two courses. One is one software course. He has to select one software course. One application. One is a hardware course. He has to select one software course and a hardware course. When it comes to software course, C, C++, Java, he has to select. Okay. When it asks hardcore CCNA or DACT, these are the hardware courses. Okay. See guys, if we select this course, that is okay, no problem. If we select hardware course CCNA and DACT, other than this, if we enter, we need to create exception. That exception name is what? Software course exception. I want to select software course exception. I want to create this exception. When I entered other than hardware course, I want to create hardware course exception. I want to create hardware course exception. Okay, software course exception and hardware course exception, right? See this, I want to create one exception class, right? Software, first I will create the exception classes. Class software course exception, see this. Same way, hardware course exception also. Create class hardware course exception. Okay, if you want to write user defined exception, what you have to write? This is a user defined exceptions, right? When you want to write this class software course exception, that must extend which exception? Exception is a super class. Okay, same hardware course also we need to write. Now I want to create hardware course exception. Say this, class hardware course exception. Call the constructor, create on constructor. What is the constructor name? Software course exception. Now I want to write software course exception. You want to write parameterized, write a parameterized. I don't want to write parameterized. Okay, here display one message. I want to display the message system.out.println, right? Which exception you want to display. Here you can display. Now I want to write software course exception. Now I want to write this is software course exception occurred. Now I give a message software course exception occurred, or just a software course exception name I will write. And also write on message void get message. You can override that message in exception class. Get message will be there. We can override. I will check it. Can I override or not? What is the method in the exception class? Java p java.lang.exception class. Once check the exception class. Is there get? Here only constructors are there. Okay, it is throwable, right? Throwable is a super class. That's why Java p java.lang.throwable. Now I want to check it throwable. Okay, what is throwable? Get message method is there. Get message method is there. Okay, get message. Can you override this method? We can override. Now I want to write get message. Okay, what I want to write? Now I will take this string parameter. Okay. Now how to override? I will take one string and override str equals to, here I give, you need to enter, I give only message, you need to enter only software courses. That is a message I am going to give. Okay, return, this is what, return str. Now I am giving return str. What is return str? What is str? You need to enter only software. That's why it is writing string. It's not void, that is string. Okay, same message I want to write for hardware courses also. See this. This is what hardware course exception, right? You need to enter what? Only hardware courses. Hardware courses, return str, void get message. Software course and hardware course. Right. Okay. Compile these two class files will be created. Okay. Enter hardware courses. This is enter software courses. Right. Say once. PRG58.java. PRG58.java. Once compile this guys, Java say PRG58.java. Two class files will be created. It is showing in SC exception cannot override. That message is asking we are assigning acre access privilege. This is public, right? See this. I want to check it. Those methods. Java p java.lang. What is the method name? sorry, throwable class. Get message. Get message override. What is this method? Public, but we cannot override, right? Now I will write public here. And it is valid. This is also public. This is a overridden method, right? Public. Otherwise, change the name, no problem. If we change also. Now, no errors, no warnings, right? See this. As if two dot class files will be created. What are the two dot class files? Software course exception and hardware course exception in your folder, right? I will show you those methods. See once. Java online one. Software course exception. See, one class is hardware course exception. Now only it is created 1043, right? And hardware course exception also will be created. Software course exception and hardware course exception. You can check it. Software course exception also will be there in this class. Here, software course exception. Okay. Now these two classes we can call in other programmers. Now I want to enter one program. See, I want to write a program. That is my application, student application. I want to write. See this class student, my application. What I am going to write here? Write public static void main. Public static void main. We need to enter software course exception, hardware course exception, right? Student application. Take one software course and hardware course. Now I want to select a software course type. String S course. Okay. Now I want to take S course and H course. If you want to write short H course, right? HCR I will write and SCR I will write. Software course and hardware course. Okay. Now read a string. We have to take the scanner class. Scanner S equals to new scanner class, right? Now what I have to write? System.in. Now I am entering software course exception and hardware course exception. Import. We need to write header file java.util dot star or scanner. We can write anything your wish. Okay. Now enter the software course and enter the hardware course. Now first I will enter the software course, right? System.out.println. See this. Enter software course. Enter software course. We need to enter software course, guys. How to enter software course? I will use system.out.print only. Yeah, string scr. Scr equals to s dot next. You know, right? Software course. Print that software course. When it is scr dot equals, I told you, right? If it is C or C++ or Java. If it is C, print this, or C++ also. scr dot equals C++, also print it, or scr dot equals Java. Now I want to take this is Java. Yeah, print it. If it is software course, print it, guys. How to print? System dot out dot println. Now I am going to print enter software selected software course. What is software course you selected plus scr? Now I want to print scr. Okay, if you enter other than this software course, else create the exception, guys. Which exception I want to create? Throw the class name is what? Software course exception. Now I'm creating exception here. See this. Once execute this. Throw that exception. Which exception? New software course exception. Save this, guys. How to save? prg59.java. prg59.java. Check it once. Class student. String software course. We enter that software course. Enter the software course. Print it. If it is C, C++, Java, then print it. Otherwise, create exception. Now once compile this. How to compile? Java is a compiler. prg59.java. Unreported exception. Software course exception. Right? Must be caught or declared to be thrown. What should we do here? We need to throws. Which exception? Software course exception. Yes. Now I want to write throw software course exception. Compile now. That handle. Once execute now. Java class name is what? Student. Now enter software course. I entered C. That is software course is C. Enter any other course. I entered wrong message. See now that exception is created. Software course exception. Exception in thread main software course. We need to enter only positive numbers. This is a message it is showing. Okay. Where that you can handle that message, right? We can try catch and we can handle, right? Now I want to write try catch. See this. Now I am going to write this try. Which exception? Here we are getting this exception, right? Now I want to handle catch block. Which catch block? Catch. I want to write exception. Which exception? Now I want to write software course exception. E. Print the message. Now I want to print a message. E dot get message. Right? System dot out dot println. Call that method. How to call? E dot get message. Already we have overridden this method. E dot get message. That method will be shown here. Okay. Once check it. Compile. PRG59. Enter software course. Okay. If I enter C, software course is C. Select the software course. I enter wrong. See this software course exception. We need to enter only software course. Okay. Now hardware course exception. Same part I want to write also. Right. See this. Now I will select enter hardware course. System.out.println enter hardware course. Guys. What is hardware course? SCR equals to s dot next int. SCR dot equals what are hardware courses? CCNA. Okay. And what is the other one? DACT. DACT. We need to enter these two only. See this. Hardware course, CCNA or DACT. Then selected hardware course. What is hardware course? We need to write hardware course. Selected hardware course is SCR. Otherwise, create new hardware course exception. Now this is a hardware course exception. Once check it, guys. If I compile 59.java, it is again throwing HC exception must be caught or declared to be thrown. Compile time exception. What you have to write? Throws SC exception or here what you have to write? Hardware course exception. Now we have to write hardware course exception. See this. Public static void main, it has to throw those two exceptions. Throws SC exception and HC exception. Now we handled compile time, but runtime you did not handle. One check it. PRG59.java. Yeah, what is hardware course exception? The class name mistakenly we have written, I think. SC exception. So what I have written? Exception, spelling mistake. Yeah, see this. No errors. Now once execute Java student. Enter select software course C. That is selected software course is C. Enter hardware course CCNA. Yes, hardware course is CC. But runtime you did not handle, right? Software course C I entered. Enter hardware course. I entered wrong. See this hardware course exception thread main HC exception. That message it is showing. You need to enter only hardware courses. Now this message is showing. What to do handle? This is enter in try block only, right? Write catch block for that. What you have to write for catch block? We can handle e dot get message. This is which has to handle hardware course exception. Hardware course exception. Now once compile this. PRG59 Java student. Enter software course. Wrong I entered. No problem. See this. Stop. Right? If I enter C, selected software, hardware course, CCNA. Okay, selected hardware course. If I enter wrong, we get a wrong message, right? You understood? What I have done, right? First I created software course exception, next hardware course exception. Okay. After that, I call those functions, those exceptions here. I created here. Throw new software course exception when you enter other than these courses. And hardware course also. Enter hardware course. Okay, if we enter other than CCNA and DCCT, create exception. That is our handle. We have taken software course exception for e dot get message. That method will be called e dot get message. Which method? Whatever we have mentioned here, e dot get message. That message will be called there, right? Whenever exception is created, that constructor will be executed. New exception. Whenever if I write, that exception will be called here. See this. If I write this new of throw new SC exception, then constructor, we are calling the constructor, then constructor will be called. That constructor. Whenever it is creating, that constructor will be called. That's why you got those errors, right? At the time of that exception work.